This is Amanda. I'm doing a little experiment our team was talking about. Just doing some informal Facebook lives. No, it's not like we've done in-depth research, but we all kind of look at a lot our neighborhood and think about the architecture and the history that we have around us. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go on a little walk here for about 20 minutes or so and then pick up the walk another time. We're in Avondale this morning, and this is my neighbor's place that I see every morning with these incredibly meticulous decorations. Also in the summer, she's got tons of flowers, both artificial and real, and I've always wanted to thank her for having this really cool thing for me to look at when I leave my house. But I think that she's a morning person and I'm not a morning person. So that has yet to really happen. So this is, as I said, this is an experiment where my team and I were talking about, we all know a lot and look a lot around our own neighborhoods. And hello, Carrie and Don. Thanks for watching me. That means, though, since I'm walking, the internet signal could possibly go in and out. But here I'm in Avondale, and one of the things that I love about Chicago, and love about my neighborhood in particular, is that there's a really cool variety of different kinds of building types. So when you go to other cities, like San Francisco, for example, I lived in San Francisco for a long time, and I always told people I felt the architecture was so boring, and they said, "What are you talking about? San Francisco is the best place on earth." And I was like, no, it's actually, the architecture is really boring because big developers developed entire blocks and made everything look exactly the same. And yeah, they've got cute houses and people would personalize them in different ways. So behind me here, I'll show you, you can see there's a ton of two flats, but they're actually unique. So you can see this one has little points on the top. You've got some interesting masonry work on this one. This one, they've kind of customized it to have that awning there. You just have different colors of brick as well. It makes it a little bit different. But then also, if you look behind me here, we've got some totally different houses. And then I love this house. It looks like a face. It's just ugh. I always look at that and I'm like, what an interesting choice. It's kind of prairie style influenced, actually, in that the door isn't smack dab in the front. And it's just like a little box. I'll show you another picture of it just real quick before I keep walking here. It's a box, and there's nothing else like it in the neighborhood. So this is what I'm saying about Chicago having this incredible variety to its architecture. Yes, you get these blocks where sometimes where the buildings are all the same. Here's another interesting one we've got. So we've been looking at some brick two flats, and then here, this house is your kind of standard wood framed house in Chicago. It's having troubles because check this out. So if you can see the former tree that was here, that was when we had that really, really horrible windstorm that ripped down giant trees in Rogers Park and also a ton in Avondale. So Julie, hello, Mike, Ramona, thanks so much for tuning in with me. So yeah, I was talking about the high winds. There were pieces of trees all over the place, and that tree fell right on that house. And I think that the structure was compromised. It doesn't seem like anybody's been living in it as they've been fixing it up. So what we're doing is, my team and those of you that are just now tuning in, we are doing little walks, totally spontaneously, just free form. They'll be about 20 minutes long, and we're going to do them on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 10:30. Don't totally hold us to it, but that's what we're going to try to do on Facebook Live. And I'm, of course, Amanda. I'm walking here in, some people would call this West Avondale, because the highway splits through the neighborhood, and it's a big neighborhood, actually. So I'm on the far west side, kind of close to of the neighborhood, close to Pulaski. So there really is, I was talking about the variety of architecture in my neighborhood. So this is a giant apartment building. So we went from houses, there's single family homes, there's 2 flats, there's apartment buildings. There's also, I have so many ideas for things I want to share on these walks. I'm right next to the neighborhood of Old Irving Park, which has all these incredible historic homes that are massive and beautifully maintained. And they also have incredible trees and landscaping and everything. There's also this interesting block by my house that I believe was sort of the outskirts of Old Irving Park, where the houses are these big wood framed houses and they've got stained glass and everything. So one of the wild things of being a professional tour guide and researching architecture and history and everything is that sometimes I don't get the space to really do all the research I would love to in my own neighborhood. So sometimes it's just hunches, and then it takes some more digging to try to find the answers, especially because so much of the historical and architectural research of Chicago up until more recent times has focused a bit more on, the lives of the rich and famous. So, like, for example, you can find some great stuff about Old Irving Park because it's super historic and because people had mansions there. But when you try to look for the stories of the everyday people and their buildings, it becomes a little bit more, there's more sleuthing. I learned a lot about doing research from Tim Samuelson, who is the city's official cultural historian. And he actually recently retired. I was so sad to hear that because I love my conversations I've had with him, but he really taught me a lot about how to use resources like Ancestry.com to really try to uncover the stories behind people. In the future, doing these spontaneous Facebook Lives, I would love to also show a little bit of my own house. And I have a little museum of my house that I've been creating. So I'm now going to take you to, hello Lori and Brenda, and hello Mary Ellen. So now I'm at Addison, and it's busy and it's horrible to cross because I'm near the highway and people drive as if they're already on the highway. So when I cross Addison, though, I'm going to be in the neighborhood of La Villa, and this is going to be one of my favorite places to walk near my house. They've got these cool stone pillars as like a gateway to the neighborhood, and we can see right here. Ooh, what am I looking at? There we go. Villa. They put flowers and stuff on the top there. That's sad. A memorial there. Yeah, because people drive horribly on this street. So anyway, La Villa is going to be a little pocket neighborhood, they call this. Oh, Alethea, thanks for tuning in. Hey. I love this. It says, hugs from the plebeian teachers in sunny Santa Barbara. Oh, I love it. Hi, Susan. This is so fun. I just kind of decided to spontaneously do a Facebook Live on my morning walk. So we're in the neighborhood of La Villa, which is going to be all single family homes. It's a pocket neighborhood, they call it. So it's like, it's not officially a neighborhood by the city by any means. But all of these homes were designed early 1900s, 1920s. And some of them, so this one is like a little more modest. I'll stop here for a second. So this one is actually kind of looks a little bit more like a Chicago bungalow. I don't think it would officially be classified as that, but a bungalow, see, check this out, if I can get this right. See that little second floor? They call it like a 1.5 story building. And whenever I looked at these that had the 1.5 story in Chicago, I thought, oh, that looks so cramped and small, but actually these are huge. They often go really far back and they're super spacious, and they're actually designed in a way that gets them decent light. So this is a more modest one. Let me turn around here And you can see this one, it still has that little dormer. So it's sort of like friendly with it. Comments in here. This is all an experiment for me to do this, this Facebook Live. Would love to hear your feedback. So the houses in La Villa, they're all unique. A lot of them do have porches, which is something that in Chicago is a bit of a rarity. Porches were designed mostly in hot weather climates, which obviously we do have that in the summertime, but not a ton. Here's another great porch, and this one has these gorgeous trees right here. So this one's got a little bit more of an English Tudor style. So the houses in La Villa are really a mix. Now, one of the things that you find commonly, like this one, which I believe a lot, actually this neighborhood was inhabited by a lot of Germans originally. And when I look at this, the awning on the entryway, it looks like it was probably added in the 1950s. So that's like a later addition, but the building itself would be 1920s. Now, if you can see that there's some sort of stucco work on these, and that's kind of common in La Villa. Most of the houses are mostly brick, and then some of them also have this stucco, which is kind of an odd choice for a climate of wetness. Actually, Frank Lloyd Wright, a lot of these buildings are inspired by Frank Lloyd Wright. When these buildings were built, he had reached his fame, and he was doing experiments as well with all kinds of different materials. So here we can see another one of these stucco buildings. Also, that kind of, I don't know what the word is for this chopped off roof look. Somebody tell me if you know. That's really common in German American neighborhoods too. Hello to Donna and Melanie. Thank you so much for joining me on my little walk today. So I'm in La Villa neighborhood, northwest side of Chicago, and I'm about to show you my favorite house in La Villa, or at least one of them. It's one of these houses where you look at it and you're like, oh, that feels like home. What if that were my home? And one of the things I think is so cool about just a few of the houses around here is that they have a diagonal entrance. So I'm at the corner, and this one is really obviously prairie style influenced. Let me see here. So you can see that the main entrance, it actually comes from the corner. So it's not the side of the building like the building that we saw earlier. It's not the front of the building. It's this corner entrance. And they also have this really cool stained glass. Now, when I say prairie style influence, just to give you an idea of what I'm talking about. So you can see that there are these horizontal wood beams. So prairie style was very much emphasizing a horizontality, which was creating a harmony with the surroundings. And then also, do you see how the roof is not very pitched and high? It's a much lower pitched roof. That was another feature in the prairie style that would really create a groundedness with the area around. And also, you know, it's a very prairie style as you see these little more geometric looking light fixtures. So prairie style was kind of, actually, Frank Lloyd Wright had gone to Japan and was influenced by the more clean lines. Sue says, wow, love the entrance on the corner of the house. I know, it's like, it's such a dream house. And it also has, I wonder what these people would think if they heard me talking. They'd probably be really proud of it. It has this really funky tree that there, and it also has one of those, wait, how do I find this here? Oh, there you go. This, I was showing these other sort of pillars that are around the neighborhood, and they put plants in them and everything. So it's just, yeah, here you can get kind of a broader view of this house. So beautiful. So those of you who are just tuning in, I'm in La Villa in Avondale. So this neighborhood, a lot of people might call arts and crafts influenced or prairie style influenced. Actually, Frank Lloyd Wright, he was a total snob when he talked about architecture, and he was like, he'd get really upset when his style was compared to arts and crafts. But here's another example of a sort of bungalowish. It's just bungalowish because it's got the kind of 1.5 stories and a porch. Yeah, we really do not have many. Now, this is a much more arts and crafts style house because of that curved roof. Oh, thanks. Hi, Nina, and hello, Sue. Good morning from Kalamazoo, my hometown. I know, getting such major national, international, probably news. What was I going to say? Arts and crafts style houses. These are also going to be an early 1900s style, and they're going to be made with wood. And you see how it's got the curve on the roof? That's going to be a real hallmark. There are a few of those. Here, I can show you another one here too. That I have a friend who has an arts and crafts style house in Long Beach, California. And it's got really exaggeratedly a curved roof, and then it ends up having these really weird closet spaces and everything because of those curves. But here you can see another example here, and maybe you can also start to understand how there's something German about it, right? The planter pots, this dormer style. As I mentioned, a lot of the original residents around here were German, but you can also see, so I was talking about this stucco work, okay? And if you look closely, like right around here, there's cracks in it. It must be a nightmare to try to maintain that stuff. Because it's just not, that's a kind of material that you build with more in dry climates. Here's the thing though, when they were experimenting with different kinds of materials and building, and obviously architects are always experimenting, maybe they did come up with something that can withstand Chicago winters a little bit better. So I'm now on the north edge of La Villa, and this abuts the trains, which then, if you can see that there's just a bunch of trees behind me. So there's trees and the railroad. And then right after the railroad is going to be the highway. So I'm not sure. I know my microphone is pretty good here with my iPhone. But I don't know if you can hear that kind of roaring sound of the highway. So that is, when I first heard of La Villa, I was like, wait, you can buy a single family home with a gorgeous yard for $500,000 next to a train line, next to the CTA. Those of you that aren't in Chicago, that's the public transit. And I thought, that is absolutely nuts. Why are people not snatching up these homes? It's because it's right by the highway. So the air quality isn't the greatest. It's like, if you're going to be raising kids, you don't really want to be in the downwind of a highway. And it's right here. So it's awesome that they have all these trees that I was talking about along the edge here. That really makes a big difference with cleaning the air, but it's still, even sometimes I'll get those alerts when I look at the weather that the air quality isn't that great. Okay, so now I'm going to show you one of the things I love about this neighborhood. They're adorable garages. Look at how adorable that is. There are these little single, because it was the beginning of people really having cars. We're talking early 1900s here. And people wouldn't have had more than one car. And some of them are decorated super cute too. I was going to say something about the garages. This is a totally spontaneous tour. So it's okay if I lose my train of thought. So I'm walking in Avondale, and I'm coming to the highlight of our walk here, okay? So I'm going to be signing off here in just a moment, so you shouldn't leave, because this is the best part coming up here. This is my favorite part of any walk. Good morning. Is going to be coming to this. So there is going to be granted, it's winter now in Chicago. So there's this, and then check this out. I'm at a boulevard. So there is this boulevard. It's lined with trees. And get this, I saw a fox around here. Yeah, a fox in the city, right around here. So we're not there yet. I'm going to show you my favorite part is going to be this house. Now, it looks way different in the summertime. Let's see here. So here you can see that there's a bunch of plants. There's some decorations too. I love this. I don't know what this is, but it's got these gorgeous red little seeds. So this is like a secret garden. And in the summertime, the entire sidewalk is covered with an archway of plants. And I'm going to share with you a link of what this house looks like on the inside. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about the story here. So you look at it, and I remember the first time I walked by this, I've lived in the neighborhood for 3 years. And I was like, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm transported to another city and another time going by this place. And I wondered, who lives here? And how do they maintain this incredible garden? Now, obviously, it's winter and you got to use your imagination, but it is an archway. And you can see where the gardener has used all kinds of ropes to create this perfect, it's dense, it's lush, it's really incredible. So I am going to share with you the story of this place. And I'm also going to share with you the link of what it looks like on the inside. So hold on one second here. I've got to get out of... All right. So now I'm going to put it in the comments so that you can see the interior. So this was one of those housing listings that goes viral because... So all I knew... Actually, from this angle, you can maybe try to envision a little bit more how the plants make this tunnel and the trees in the summertime. Well, the listing, if you look at it, you're gonna see that there is a whole other dimension going on in this house. One, there's like 1970s medieval style interior, which is really quite impressive. But more so, I had no idea that behind this wall right here is a swimming pool. And around the swimming pool, it is densely packed with sorry, I lost my microphone here. It is densely packed with more plants. It is a sort of urban jungle in the best kind of jungle way, as far as just all of these plants. And I thought, oh my gosh, who in the world? Oh, here you can see the train going by. That's the Metra commuter. It's a commuter rail. So I put this post on the neighborhood Facebook group. And, oh, Sue, I would love to walk you by there next summer. Sounds great. So I put this on the neighborhood Facebook group, and someone said that, she said, wow, I know the man who lives there. His wife passed away of cancer so many years ago. And I thought to myself how, one of the things that I had noticed is, whoever was taking care of this garden put so much care and love into this garden. And I thought about how people who are touched by death, I think, often gain a greater appreciation for life, and they can maybe funnel that into the world around them in whatever way is open for them. So this man who lives or lived here, because I shared with you the link to the real estate listing. It was sold, so I'm not sure if he's moved out or what. So he was a widower, and he put a lot of his time and love into making this beautiful garden. And when I found out that the garden was, or the house was up for sale, I thought, oh no, I mean, what's going to happen to this incredible garden? And then I realized, that the house sold really quick. And I thought, I don't think anyone's buying it for the medieval style carpets and tapestries and that kind of thing. I bet you whoever bought this house bought it because they too are a gardener. And I'm really hoping that the new owner will keep it up and make it special and make it continue to be what it is. So my friends, this is going to conclude my walk. We're going to try just doing these short little Facebook Live walks around 10:30 on certain days of the week, probably Tuesdays and Thursdays. If you haven't heard about our virtual holiday stories happy hour, it is so ridiculously fun. We spent hundreds of hours developing this. It has 2 hosts, and you learn the stories of Chicago, but there's also all these ways that make it interactive. So it's super fun to invite a family member from afar, and a really cool way to be able to connect with each other. You can go to chicagodetours.com for that. And then we also have our Badass Women Journal for sale. Is a really cool, meaningful gift for someone, any of the women